Welcome to Rayat Shikshan Sanstha's online learning program, English Bal Bharti Standard 6. Students, today we will be doing chapter 4.4, A Mad Tea Party. Alice in Wonderland is a fantasy novel written by Lewis Carroll. It tells us of adventures of a little girl called Alice who falls in a rabbit hole and finds herself in a fantasy world where funny people mingle with peculiar creatures. Here she happens to attend a tea party with three of them: the March Hare, the Mad Hatter, and the Dormouse. There was a table set out under a tree in front of the house, and the March Hare and the Hatter were having a tea at it. A dormouse was sitting between them, fast asleep, and the other two were using it as a cushion, resting their elbows on it and talking over its head. Very uncomfortable for the dormouse, thought Alice. Only as it's asleep, I suppose it doesn't mind. The table was a large one, but the three were all crowded together at one corner of it. No room, no room, they cried out when they saw Alice coming. There's plenty of room, said Alice, and she sat down in a large armchair at one end of the table. Have some wine, the March Hare said in an encouraging tone. Alice looked all round the table, but there was nothing on it but tea. I don't see any wine here, she remarked. There isn't any, said the March Hare. This lesson, named A Mad Tea Party, is a glimpse of Alice's adventures in the magic burrow. She finds herself in a world that is new and strange for her. She comes across a table that is set out under a tree in front of a house where the March Hare and the Hatter are having tea. She looks around a little more and finds a dormouse sitting between them, fast asleep. To her surprise, the Hare and the Hatter were using him as a cushion, resting their elbows on him and also talking over his head. She notices that the table that was set for a tea party was a large one, but the three of them were sitting together, occupying only corner of it. March Hare and Hatter do not welcome Alice at first. She joins them at her own will. Then it wasn't very civil of you to offer it, said the Alice angrily. It was not very civil of you to sit down without being invited, said the March Hare. I didn't know it was your table, said Alice. It's late for a great many more than three. Your hair wants cutting, said the Hatter. He had been looking at Alice for some time with a great curiosity, and this was his first speech. You should learn not to make personal remarks, Alice said with some severity. It's very rude. The Hatter opened his eyes very wide on hearing this, but all he said was, why is Raven like a writing desk? Come, we shall have some fun now, thought Alice. I am glad they have begun asking riddles. I believe I can guess that, she added aloud. Do you mean that you think you can find out the answer to it? Said the March Hare. Exactly so, said Alice. Then you should say, what do you mean? The March Hare went on. I do, Alice hastily replied. At least I mean what I say. That she same thing, you know. Not the same thing a bit, said the Hatter. You might just as well say that I see what I eat is the same thing as I eat what I see. You might just as well say added the March Hare, that I like what I get is the same thing as I get what I like. You might just as well say, added Dormouse, who seemed to be talking in his sleep, that I breathe when I sleep is the same thing as I sleep when I breathe. It is the same thing with you, said the Hatter. And here the conversation dropped and the party sat silent for a minute. While Alice thought over all she could remember about ravens and a writing desk, which was not much. Have you guessed the riddle yet? The Hatter said, turning to Alice again. No, I give it up. Alice replied. What's the answer? I haven't the slightest idea, said the Hatter. Nor I, said the March Hare. Alice sighed wearily. I think you might do something better with the time, she said, than waste it in asking riddles that have no answer. Alice finds their behavior rude towards her. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the Hatter asks Alice a riddle, and surprisingly, none of them have no answer to it. Not even the Hatter. Alice comments that it is a waste of time to ask riddles that have no answer. Here we finish first part of this lesson. Remaining part we will continue in next video. Thank you.